Welcome to Investing in Rentals, California versus out-of-state properties. I'm Sensei Gilliland of Black Belt Investors, your host, and I'm going to be talking and teaching you about the differences, the pros and cons of investing in states like California, New York versus other states. And there are some differences between the two types of investment strategies. Um, there's not really one better than the other, but if you're looking for cash flow, you're looking for low acquisition costs, or you're looking for appreciation, you might be looking outside of your own boundaries. But before we get started today, let's go ahead and go through just a few announcements that I have that I'd like to share with you to keep you engaged with Black Belt investors. Coming up on January 20th in Phoenix, Arizona, we'll be hosting an event. It's a full day event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. where we'll have vendors and multiple different types of speakers talking about anywhere from rental properties to flipping properties to auction properties to asset protection. It's a great event. It's a lot of fun. It's very educational and it's absolutely free. So if you're interested, you can go to blackbeltinvestors.com/events to learn more about that event. Then coming up in January in Southern California only, I'm going to be offering my free flipping houses workshops where I'm going to teach you my system of how to find the deals, build your cash buyers list, build your team, put out multiple offers in a rapid paced time, extract the off-market properties, put them under contract, and then you have a decision. You can either assign the contract through way of wholesaling, or you can actually acquire it and buy it, fix it, and flip it, or buy it, fix it, and rent it. Now, this is a 3-hour workshop. It's absolutely free. I'll be hosting it on January 29th in the city of Hawthorne, January 31st in Santa Monica, and February 1st in the city of Downey. And it's a phenomenal way to be able for you to learn to see how Black Belt investors goes through their process every single day, taking a transaction from A through Z. If you're interested in that, it's absolutely free. You can go to blackbeltinvestors.com/events to learn more. Now, coming up in February, I will be offering my master's program. Now, my master's program is not for the person that thinks they want to be in real estate. It's for the person that wants to do real estate now. It's truly about getting away from the seminars and workshops and getting into the trenches and learning how to do the business. So we offer this throughout the full year on a one-on-one basis. But the cool thing about the master's program here, this is a small group session. So doing it in a small group session makes it a little bit easier on everybody's pocketbook, and you'll learn a little bit faster because you get questions and answers from people that you may have not even thought about. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a full day, and we're going to build our team. We're going to understand pre-foreclosures. We're going to get our marketing together, and we're going to start searching for target areas to find off-market deals. Second day, we'll be out in the field again, and we'll be walking through these properties. We'll do our marketing. We'll make offers. In fact, my last group, we had a group of 3 people, and within 2 hours, we put out 236 offers within 2 hours. So this is the type of pace that we're going to go. You can expect to find these deals, put them on our, put them in your inventory list. We'll find how to research the property, research the owners, get these off-market properties so that you have the ability to either assign the contract or actually buy it yourself to fix it and flip it. No books, no audio tapes, no online webinars, strictly in the field. So if you're interested, I've already got 4 people. I take up to 7, and we've got 3 spots left for February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Now, I want you to block out all distractions. Close the door, get your pen and paper out, and focus with me for the next hour as I will be taking you through investing in rentals, California versus out of state. Now, there's a very good quote that I enjoy reading every once in a while, and it reads, "Unless you aim for the right target, it doesn't matter how powerful your bow is or how sharp your arrows are." See, I find this a lot with many investors, whether they're wanting to flip properties or wanting to buy properties. The flippers are running around throwing up yellow and black "We buy houses" signs. They don't really have any target. They're just putting on telephone poles by on ramps and off ramps of freeways, or they're thinking about they want to fix and flip, then they want to assign contracts, then they want to do tax lanes, and they're just all over the place. Yeah, okay, so great. They pay for some expensive package of to gain knowledge, so they've got a great, powerful bow and a sharp arrow, but they're shooting it right into the sky and have no idea where it's landing. Makes no sense. Same thing with a investor that is purchasing rentals. They'll want to buy something because it's in their own backyard, but it makes no number sense. They want to buy something out of state because it's super cheap, but they don't know anything about the property, the area, the numbers, or how to evaluate the property. Makes no sense. So it's important that you follow us and learn how to sharpen your arrows so that you know how to use your bow properly and aim at the right target. Now, I'm Sensei Gillen, and if you just joined us, I am the leader of Black Belt Investors. It's a real estate education, coaching, and investment firm. In fact, we've been offering education and investments since the year 2000, and I've been actively investing in real estate full-time since the year 1995. I've done lots of things over the years, and yes, that super handsome guy is me. Yeah, that's me on the cover of Real Estate Wealth magazine. And, I am now hitting my 23rd year in actively investing in real estate. I've invested from coast to coast, from Fort Myers, Florida, all the way to San Francisco, California, to Hawaii. And I'm still active investor today. Those that are online today that have been with me, you've been out in the field with me. You know that I'm investing. But more importantly, I know how to spend most of the time training others, how to make their investing work for them. I love spending time with others. Doing it this morning. Fortunately, I've been in the news, and I'm wrapping up a new book. In fact, I just learned I'm going to be on the cover of another magazine coming in the summer, and I'm often called on to provide insight on direction of market cycles and market forecasting, and so you can find me on the radio. In fact, I just did a radio show Thursday night. Literally, I've trained thousands of investors and business owners. Now, enough about me. It's important that you understand who you're listening to, but let's go ahead and move forward about learning about today's topic. Because I really want to talk to you today about choosing the right market to invest in. It's so important. And I'm seeing so many people make the wrong moves, which is ultimately going to hurt them later on. It's sad, but it's true. So let's talk about finding the right place to invest in rentals today, and specifically California versus out-of-state investments. So today we're going to look at the pros and cons of investing in rental properties in California versus some of the other options that are outside of the borders of California. And I can tell you what I like best, but to be honest, it's really about you. So we're going to take a look at how these markets are different. We're going to look at the pros and cons of each. But is it really about what it really is about finding the right fit? What's better? What's different? What's right for you? Statistically speaking, 99% of the people here today share one thing in common for sure. That is, we aren't financially prepared for retirement. Even perhaps the 5% that do have the money to survive a layoff or disability, injury, or already retired know that unless they keep investing smart, just isn't going to last. Just ask any lotto winner. You can burn through $1 million a lot faster than you think. Just visit Disneyland. I'm kidding, because I just got back from Disney World in Florida. Not really kidding. It was a lot of money. But, we all need to invest, and we need to do it well. We need to do it right. But we might have slightly different personal preferences, risk tolerances, and timelines. Some of them might still be in college. Others may have been retired for a few years. Some of you have a couple $100,000 to invest today. Others may have a lot less than that. So what do you want? So what's right for you depends on what you want, right? So what do you want? Is it just buying a cool property in a fancy neighborhood that you can brag about to your friends, even if it's bleeding you dry every single month? Or is it some extra cash in your pocket each month and an appreciating property that will set you up to retire very well and leave your kids enough to have a great head start? Is it better returns on your investment or capital? Or the security of ongoing passive income, even if something happens tomorrow and you can't work another day in your life? Believe me, it happens. So now you're beginning to kick around and visualize more specifically what you really want. What types of features do you want in an investment that can deliver just that? Well, what should it offer? What should it do for you? What should it look like? Well, the types of investments, the types of properties, what types of markets can deliver what you're really looking for? Real estate's a pretty obvious category, right? I mean, I think that stats put it somewhere right around 90% of millionaires have made their money through real estate. I know today there's a lot of those that, look rich, might look like they made their money in tech or computers, like Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Airbnb. Startups and apps are pretty cool, but most completely overlook is that most Forbes billionaires, that billionaire list still have made their money in real estate, or they're putting their money made from somewhere else into real estate to keep it safe and grow their assets. That applies to many like Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, Sam Zell, Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, Trump, everybody. So you're definitely on the right track of being here today. So what do we want our real estate to do for us? It's build wealth, right? That's just one thing. You want to get your net worth up. Real estate can do that. It's the best tool for you to do that. You buy the rights to the property at the right price, in the right place, and at the right time. And they'll build wealth for you on autopilot. If you've got the right connections, you might even walk into a deal with a little bit of equity too. Now, we also need income. I mean, it's all about cash flow for most people. $1 million doesn't go very far today. You might not even get your dream car for that. Never mind that house that for someone like yourself or some change for Starbucks. Doesn't matter how big your pile of money is unless you have the income, unless you have the money that's creating the income, then you'll burn through everything pretty darn fast. So our real estate investments should give us the income. Preferably, that is passive, residual income, which just keeps giving. To me, the best Christmas present ever. Even if we don't get out of bed in the morning, real estate can do that for you. We also need sustainability too. The only thing that's worse than being broke your whole life is to make a whole bunch of money and then lose it all. Feels terrible. Trust me, I know. That's seriously depressing. Really. You don't want to get up to be making $3 million a year and then find yourself in a homeless shelter with one of those little cardboard signs and a dirty dog as your only friend. It happens. It happens to thousands who didn't invest sustainably or in the right places in 2008. I was one of the fortunate ones, but a lot of guys didn't make it. A lot of guys are still in that hole. I can count maybe a handful of personalities you've heard of that are out there that were investing back then and still are here today. And you know what? It's all about three words that we all know. But for me, it's six. The three words are what? Starts with an L. That's right. Location, location, location. And for me, that's important. But what's also important is the deal, the deal, the deal. So, of course, mastering rental property investing is easier said than done. It's not you buy it and forget about it. So, what does it really take to master it, to get the best results? We've all heard that real estate is all about location, right? Well, there's there are many benefits of investing in rentals that would include hard, tangible assets, cash flow, passive income, long-term wealth building, and some tax benefits. These are the reasons. These are great benefits to have. These are benefits to have that most investments don't offer. So what about California? Well, we love it, right? We love California. Look at that picture. Isn't it gorgeous? We love California. It's such an attraction. Think about all those pioneers that sacrificed so much to get here. The gold rush, the 70s, the beaches, the California girls, the tech, the money. You know, we've got the Kardashians. It says right there that they're royalty. Epic. Of course, living next to royalty can be a little expensive too, right? Well, we do have awesome houses. I live here. We got fantastic weather. I mean, what's it going to be today on Saturday, December 30th? 76 degrees where I live, where most people are freezing their tails off. You know, people will always probably want to move to California because of what we have to offer here. Some wealthy individuals will keep flocking here no matter what the cost. And sometimes California looks a little bit more like this than the first picture that I showed you. And this, oops, what's happening to Pink's house in Malibu? We've got earthquakes. Man, we've experienced fires after fire after fire. The National Association of Realtors also says we're expecting a dip in foreign buyers. That means sales are going to go down with foreign buyers. That pulls down all of our sales because we have such an influx over the past few years of foreign buyers. And we know prices normally become the next domino in the chain effect. Well, worst off, from an investor's point of view, we really have a ton of competition right now. That makes it incredibly hard to find properties that cash flow as rentals. It's risky, hard to make money right now. I'd wait for the next dip before I start investing in rental properties here in California. Unless you find real steals, which is possible. But I don't like going broke trying to find those deals. I don't like taking money out of my pocket to pay for rentals every single month. They should be paying us. So you can still flip and you can still wholesale houses in California, and then we retail that. Rentals just doesn't make any sense. Even in Beverly Hills or Cupertino, you may find some viable rentals, but how does it stack up to what is available outside of California? Well, prices are high here, no doubt. Competition is high. Taxes are extremely high. Lack of affordability. We're way past the national median in what it costs to buy a house. Well, thin margins. Lots of work to find deals. Expensive taxes. But we've got the weather. We have the prestige and ego, long-term values. And if you're in California, it's close to home. That's your pros and cons. Well, you got to figure what's most important to you. Is it the right side where you want to buy because of the weather and it's close to your home? Or do you want to, go to another area that offers a little bit more value right now? Not saying that California is always going to be this way, because it's not. I mean, we were buying some fantastic flips and rentals back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and up to 12, the rental side. But that boat has now sailed. So what about outside of California? What about places like Cleveland? Outside covers a lot of ground, and real estate is local. So what I'm talking about is destinations like Phoenix, Indianapolis, Kansas City, and Cleveland. Unless you've been there, coming from California, you might not know a lot about Cleveland, Ohio. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty darn cool. What you're looking at now is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that sits right on the lake of Lake Erie. We've just visited this with our last tour. A group of investors and I went and toured the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is pretty darn cool. Cleveland has a lot going on. I mean, world-class sports. Take a look at the Indians. I mean, did pretty darn well last year in the playoffs. Didn't make it to the World Series, but the year before they made it to the World Series. Then you have the Cavaliers. We won't talk about the Browns because they suck. But we have, out of all three sports, you got the Cavs, you got the Indians and Browns. Man, I've never seen such a die-hard fan base in Cleveland that love the Browns. But, man, they are tuning. They even got ice hockey there. World-class sports, modern museums, which you're looking at here, which just was recently built, art performances. Do you know that the number one spot for Broadway plays is in New York, right? The number two spot with the most theaters for Broadway plays, Cleveland. That's right. Cleveland Playhouse is a district where they offer lots of different types of Broadway plays. Food, healthcare, Cleveland clinics, schools, colleges, heck of a lot more. In fact, we recently got back from one of our tours in Cleveland. We had over 50 cash-paying investors checking out properties and taking a look at the changing of downtown area. It was awesome, and we had a ton of fun. Now, here's a snapshot. Checking out some properties, eating some great barbecue, catching a game, playing some table tennis in the town square, seeing the sights, Rockefeller Building, the first mall in America, which is where you see right there with all the lights. Phenomenal, beautiful architecture. Cleveland Clinic, and one of our couples at our new rentals, you can see the Tasakas there. Just had a blast. So what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at properties like these here. We've been finding and providing cash investor deals like this starting in the $40,000 range, and had just started offering financing less than a year ago. It only requires 20% down. Not much money out of someone's pocket. So here are some of the highlights of Cleveland. Named Intel Digital World an Intelligent Community. The first to create a high-speed fiber optic and citywide Wi-Fi network. Biotech startup company hub. In fact, they have over 600 of them in Cleveland. Home to NASA. Home to the Cleveland Clinic. Business and investor friendly, and that's why it's thriving today. Home to 29 colleges and universities, 6 deep water ports, and 2 international airports. Did you guys know that? So let's get back to the numbers. What do markets like Cleveland have to offer? Single homes starting in the 40,000s, but most of our investors are on average about $55,000 to $65,000 for properties in the suburbs. Rents go between $800 to $1,200 a month, up to 12% cap rates unless you get into multi-units, then it goes a little bit higher than that. Sales prices far under rebuild costs. It costs about 100 bare minimum $100 to $110 a square foot, bare minimum to build something. You build 1,000 square foot home, it's $100,000, but we can get them two for that price. Available vacant properties ready for you, and demand for rentals. Why is there a demand? Job growth. So what does this give us? Look, you can buy 10 of these houses for the price of one rental in many parts of California. And the cash and the ROI is a heck of a lot better. So you're even in a good position to add value with rehab or let appreciation do its thing. For me, this is like Southern California back in 2010 and 2011, only with far more affordable prices that anyone can get in on these types of deals. As an investor, you can expect affordable acquisition costs. Where are you going to buy a property in California for 50? You can't even buy something with wheels someone lives in it for 50 grand. Reasonable access to inventory, great cash flow and yield potential, value and equity potential. Take a look at this sweet deal right here. Here's a property that's just under 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. The sales price on it was $59,900. That's a beautiful house, is it not? What would that house cost if you were to put it in your neighborhood? Not $59,900, that's for sure. Rents are wrong here. It's $1,000 a month in gross rents, not $950. $2,300 in taxes. Taxes are a little bit high in Cleveland, but it all pans out, so you're still getting a phenomenal return. Insurance $620. Vacancy rate right now is just under 3%, but I put a 5% vacancy rate in there. And then you have management, which is discounted at 8%. And then you have maintenance factor, which is another 5% of cost. Maintenance where you got a plug toilet or someone moves out, you got to clean the place up. So if you take the $12,000 and you net it out with all those expenses, it comes out to $6,920. That's an 11.5% cap rate. Where are you going to find 11.5% cap rate in California or New York? You're not. You can't even go to Indianapolis and Kansas City to get that 11.5% cap rate. So we've got a phenomenal property that is very easy on the budget, that offers a double-digit return, that is turnkey, ready for a renter. In fact, if we were to build this house at $100 a square foot at $1,488, that would cost us almost $149,000 to build that house. But Cleveland offers that value today to where we can buy almost 3 of these houses for the build cost. Looking at this property, you're only looking about $40 a square foot. It's pretty darn good. Now, let's line them up. Let's line up California versus Cleveland. Let's see what we've got. Well, California, amazing destination, no doubt. Cleveland, cool, great area to visit, love it, but lesser known. California, extreme competition. I don't care if you're a home buyer or a landlord. Very high competition. Moderate competition in Cleveland. So a little bit more inventory. Very expensive in California, very affordable in Cleveland. Tight cash flow, if any, in California. Very generous in Cleveland. Low ROI, high ROI in Cleveland. Questionable outlook because we're hitting the peak here. They're saying by 2019 we should see some changes. And then in Cleveland, well, like I said, we're like 2011 in California. We're now just starting to go at that upswing and got a nice little ride to collect some appreciation on the way. So which destination has what you want most? Well, so apples to apples, let's match them up. just looking at the numbers, which is better for your finances now. And not just now, but several years down the road. Real estate is all about location, 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 right? We've heard that plenty of times before. It's just not the location we automatically assume that are the most profitable. So, location is important, but not always the destination we think of first. Economics and desirability matter too. Think about state, think about city, think about zip code, think about the neighborhood. You know, Benjamin Graham says this. He says, investment is most intelligent when it's most businesslike. We really need to think about collecting rentals as a business and not a hobby. Because when you collect rentals out of emotion or out of using it like a hobby, you don't make any money. But you need to think about it as a business and treat it like a business. We also know we need to diversify. California or out-of-state locations like Cleveland, that'll help you diversify. But which is best now? Well, you need to diversify in numbers of units, houses, maybe some multi-units later on. Diversify in location, different areas of Cleveland, or you can go, collect a handful of properties in Cleveland, collect a handful of properties in Phoenix. Diversify the location because, as I mentioned earlier, Cleveland is like California in 2011. So that means our real estate markets and cycles are different. Diversify in types of properties and investments. We got to keep the D word in our business. Now, of all the business and investment niches out there, rental property investing can be the easiest and most profitable over time. However, there's a huge difference in the results between those that invest purely emotionally versus objectively and disciplined. Objectively and disciplined is key. That's why it's our tagline, Black Belt Investors, Disciplined Investing. So why? Well, the math speaks for itself, right? So why haven't you invested out of state yet? Or at least invested in more properties out of state and in new locations? A lot of people say distance. Well, for some, it may be simply knowing about the advantages. Until now, for others, it is the emotional trap. But more than anything, it is the distance. Finding the properties, doing the deals, and then thinking about managing them from a distance, I totally get it. I understand. How can you invest in something that you can't see or touch? Well, the cool thing is that you can always fly over there, see it, and touch it. But let me ask you this. Have you ever invested in stocks, mutual funds, retirement accounts? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever touched it? Can you go to the round table of Coca-Cola and put your 2 cents in? Absolutely not. But you do it. See, that's why banks will lend money on real estate and not on stocks, because it's a hard, tangible asset. Make sense? So here's how we've tackled that challenge at Black Belt Investors. We found so many investors just wanted to get to the results. We know real estate is a necessary investment. We know real estate offers a lot of benefits, but many people just want those advantages without having to invest all their own time and capital in trial and error and learning everything by themselves. And they didn't want to have to spend too much money or time going to find, fix, and manage out-of-area rentals. So we built a turnkey system that checks all the boxes and made it available for those that want to avoid the downsides, get all the upside, and get it faster. In fact, you can always learn more by going to my website, blackbeltinvestors.com, and download my free ebook, The Easiest, Most Profitable Way to Invest in Flowing Rental Properties in the Best Markets in America. Write that down. Do it after this training session. Now, we have a team of experts with over 20 plus years in experience handling it all for investors like you. So here's 10 reasons why investors choose us as their investment provider. We find it, you buy it, we fix it, we rent it, you profit. Now, I've been investing out of state. Like I said, my very first investment property was in Fort Myers, Florida back in 1995. So I've got a lot of experience dealing with properties that are out of state. Knowledge of national and macro trends. So true. Otherwise, the media would not call on me to educate their audience. Number 3, select the best markets in the United States. Now, we move around. We'll stick in a market for quite some time, but when it's time to move, it's time to move. So, for an example, I was in Indianapolis and Kansas City from 2006 till this year, but I am now moving out of those areas. Why? Affordability factor. We can buy the same house in Cleveland and Indianapolis, Kansas City. We can buy the exact same house, same neighborhood. It offers the same rents, but the big difference is price. Indianapolis, Kansas City is going to be $30,000, $40,000 more than for the same house, same market over in Cleveland. We want value. So we're now moving out. So we'll move out and we'll open up a new area. Number 4, choose ripe investments on numbers. Number 5, acquisition, rehab, and leasing team, all done for you. 6, thorough inspections. You'll get inspections before, during, and after, several of them. Number 7, expert property management. In fact, they offer our clients a discount. Typically, property management's 10% of the gross rents, and we have them at 8% of the gross rents. Number 8, affordable properties. A 10-to-1 in Cleveland versus California. You can buy that one property in California. And I was just speaking to someone yesterday, a friend of mine that's bought properties from me, that's thinking about buying an investment property up in the Fremont area. But when you look at the price and the type of rents that you're going to get in the cash flow, it just doesn't make sense. 9, good value and outlook. And number 10, multiple exit strategies and assistance. We will guide you the whole way through for as long as you own that property. Now, some of you might want to take this information and apply it to building your own rental property portfolio, fund, or even a real estate business. Fantastic. Go for it. If you just check out our websites, you'll see exactly where we're investing in Cleveland or other cities down to the zip code level. There's a lot more distressed and vacant properties in the U.S. to be repositioned than any major multi-billion-dollar fund can handle themselves. If you get stuck, Black Belt Investors offers coaching and education to help you. Others of you probably just want to find great properties. Great properties that are delivering cash flow and good returns and have everything done for you because you just don't have the time. You can't squeeze out any more hours out of your work week. Well, that's where we step in. That's what we do with remote rehabs. So how do you get started with remote rehabs? Well, number 1, set up a telephone consultation to discuss your needs. Call our office, set up a time and date, and a success manager will help you guide you through your path. Number 2, get more details on how we choose and rehab and manage properties so that you get a better understanding. Then you're going to complete your registration form and send your earnest money deposit. So if you decide to take the next step and you want to acquire a property, we require a registration form so we can start a file on you and your property and an earnest money deposit. That money gets applied to the purchase of your property. Number 4, you get your rental property and you collect the rewards and start collecting paychecks every single month. Now, there's 3 ways that you can participate. You can purchase with cash or lines of credit. Don't have the cash to invest? Well, we can help connect you with partners, lenders, or a game plan to generate the cash to kickstart your rental property portfolio. You also have the opportunity to become a private money lender. Just connect with us to ask how. So there's other ways to approach this. one thing I want to do is invite you to our next tour. The Ultimate Investors Tour is going to happen on April 21st in Cleveland. You can simply go to blackbeltinvestors.com/events to find out more. They're supposed to be posting that page today, so if it's not readily available now, it will be very, very soon. Or you can simply give our office a call at 951-280-1900. Some of you are certainly ready to invest now, and I know that you'll find better deals with remote rehabs than elsewhere. I've been there. I've invested all over the country for over the last 20 years. Some of you might not be sure how you want to start getting into your out-of-area rentals, and that's okay. We have a private consultation with no obligation to you whatsoever. I don't believe in hard sales. This is strictly about you taking the next step. And if we're a good fit for each other, we're going to help figure out the best battle plan for you, and then you can use our help to execute it or get out there and take charge yourself. Just make sure that you benefit from this free strategy session. Call the office and leave a message right now. Or hop onto our website and fill out the quick response form, and one of our team members will get back to you soon. So here's what I want you to do. Couple things. Number one, take the notes that you wrote down today. Don't put them off to the side, but read through them. Write down your questions. Visit blackbeltinvestors.com and visit remoterehabs.com. That's remoterehabs.com. There you'll see a lot of properties that are recent transactions. You'll get a lot of statistical information. You'll get a lot of information about what the markets are currently doing. You're not going to just see properties for Cleveland. Then go to blackbeltinvestors.com, go to the investing section, and download your free ebook. And that will give you quite a bit of information too. And it'll be also a reinforcement of this training session that you got today. Listen, guys, I'd love to help you out. I'd love to give you more information, but I can only provide you the tools and the plan. It's up to you to read the instructions with our guidance and pick up the tools and put them to use. Okay? So take that really powerful bow and that sharp arrow, and let's have a true target so that you can take aim. God bless you guys. Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you on the tour.